Denver Mayor Michael Hancock announced this week that he is focusing on making the city more bike and pedestrian friendly. In a Denver Post TV interview, Hancock noted that the city's mobility initiatives currently in development could cost upwards of $1 billion. Although no set funding plan has been released, Hancock noted that sources could include state and federal government funding or revenue from a bond issuance going before voters in November. Joey, some critics of this plan see it merely as an attack on people in cars. It'll be great for people on foot and on bikes, but at the expense of driving anywhere near the central part of Denver. Does Hancock need to be careful on this one?
I don't. I think he should have been careful before he ever said it. But it's good for him. You know, this is one of those things that liberals say that really looks good for them, that we're going to do these, we're going to be. But let me tell you something. You know, you can wait on $1 billion from the federal government, or you can wait $1 billion from the Tooth Fairy. But either way, you're not getting $1 billion. You know, the only chance he has is to go to Donald Trump and say, hey, that $550 billion you're going to put into infrastructure, we want to use it for bike lanes and walking paths in Denver. And then Trump will laugh him out of the room. This is never going to happen.
Noel, what do you think here in Denver? I mean, it's a city in the West, which traditionally has more cars. And I don't think people want to see the sprawl that we've seen in bigger cities like Los Angeles and places in California. But it's not like people in Colorado are excited to give up their cars anytime soon. Is this a wise priority for the Hancock administration?
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to talk about different ways of transportation. Nobody likes sitting in a traffic jam. Will this relieve the afternoon and morning commutes and the pressure off that? I don't know. I would hope that this would come with some public education, because there are some good laws on the books, because there's a safety issue here too. You know, it's personal for the Denver Post. We lost Colleen O'Connor back at the end of August, who was hit and killed when somebody who's now pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide and driving while drunk ran over her. So it's personal, but there are safety issues and laws in place where if people don't drive drunk, get off their cell phones, bicyclists don't go flying down the sidewalk in the wrong direction, pedestrians look up from your cell phone. There are things in place to protect us. So when we look at that safety issue, I hope there's some education that comes with this plan.
Patty, do Denverites want more walking or more parking?
Yes, they want it all. That's why we're in the West. But one of the things that Hancock has to address, and his planning department has to address, is most people are going to have cars because even if you can get around the core city without them, you want to drive to the mountains. You want to go to the plains. That's one of the reasons you live here. You want to see the great outdoors, and there are not a lot of ways to get to the great outdoors unless you're a really good long-distance bicyclist. So we still have the issue on the small lots and whether or not they have to have parking provided for the people who live there. That moratorium has been extended another 60 days while they still decide it. But right now, it's hard to even find a place in Denver to put your car, even if you want to take the bus downtown or ride your bicycle downtown.
That's true. Craig, when you look at Denver, does it need, Mayor Hancock voiced a fear that if we don't address pedestrians and bike traffic, that people will start leaving Denver. Right, there's probably some folks seeing all the traffic saying that's okay. But if Denver wants to remain a top-tier town, is making it more pedestrian-friendly the way to go?
Yes, but it's a lot of chutzpah on the part of Mayor Hancock. It's like him asking for money for water after he started a bonfire. I mean, there's so much building just coming through downtown to get over here today. I worry about the bike riders, and I ride my bike all the time. Here's my B-cycle card. So I like those lanes on Broadway and downtown. When I get a chance, I'll be the guy in the suit riding to court because it's more convenient. But I still need my car, and people living in the inner city, they don't have a place to park. Look at those massive developments at Spear and Downing. That's unbelievable. Nobody goes to Cherry Creek anymore because it's too crowded, if I can borrow that from Yogi Berra. So the bottom line is, yes, Denver needs more transport options, including bike lanes, but we're way overbuilt, and it's remarkable the lack of planning that went into the overbuilding.